right, traders, Trade Factory night shift, November 10th. Really good day in the market today. I hope you guys made money. Tonight goes the same as every night. First, we look at SPY and see if breakouts are going to be on tomorrow. Next, I'll show you what's on my watch list, the stocks that are setting up to break out. And last, I'll show you guys my positions. So SPY had a really good day today, up 1.5%. Could have used some more volume. Retook the 20 and the 10-day moving average. This is very likely an obvious reaction to the government here in America opening up. So we'll see if this momentum holds. I had been down for about 10 days in a row, even went below the 20-day, but it retook it today. We'll see if this move continues. All right, so I only have one name on the watch list. I'm going to show you that next. INTG was on the watch list from Friday, but if you saw that video, you know that there was a lot of things about this stock that kind of sketched me out. It technically broke the top trend line today, but it never retook those highs. I wasn't going to take it anyways. On top of some of the things that we talked about in Friday's video, this stock is really thin. Average volume is 6.5 shares, and you can see where hours sometimes go by, 2-3 hours, when it doesn't even trade one share. So it didn't break out anyways today, but we're definitely taking that one off. PYXS is the only thing that I have on the watch list for tomorrow. Still don't see a whole lot of setups in the momentum scans. Not seeing a lot of names period in the momentum scans. They're still pretty light. We'll see with SPY making range expansion today. We'll see if that doesn't change. But PRX is really the only thing that looks good to me right now. Made a big move, 250% in 3 days. It's still holding more than half, almost 3/4 of that move. The 20-day has caught up to it. It's starting to get tight right around the 20-day, making pretty consistent higher lows. It's gotten into a nice little flag here on the hourly chart in the last 3 days, and volume is drying up at 3 days in a row with below average volume. Not sure if it's going to make it out of the flag tomorrow or not. Anything's possible, but we'll see what happens. Now looking at my positions, this is why today was a good day. PYXS exploded 22% today. Been in PYXS since back here on this day. This was October 31st. And I told you guys, we started talking about it on the 22nd, which was this day. So this stock showed up in the Trade Factory back on this day. It stayed on the watch list all throughout here and then broke out. It's up 31% from my entry. So this thing's doing really well. It had a huge day today, closed 2 cents off of its high on big volume. You can see here on the hourly chart, each hour, it pretty much made new highs all day. So PYXS is looking really good. SGHT, which we entered last Friday, hit my first profit target today. I took profits at about 620. I took half my position off, moved my stop up to entry. I'm trailing the rest, waiting for it to close below the 10-day moving average. I'm up 12% on that one. We love to see days like this. Hopefully this is the start of a nice little bullish swing in the market. If you like PRAX, you got it on your watch list, let me know. And if you made some money today, I'd love to hear about it. Until then, I'll be back tomorrow for another night shift in the Trade Factory. All right, traders, November 11th, 2025, night shift to Trade Factory. Had another good day today. This goes the same way every time. First, we'll look at SPY to see if breakouts are on tomorrow. Next, I'll show you the setups that are looking ready to break out. And then lastly, we'll go over my current positions. SPY still looks good. Had another up day today. 10-day is still above the 20-day, although the 10-day is technically kind of flat, almost trending down right here. And with the 20-day trending up, these are getting close. If the market stalls or goes down the next couple of days, we might get those moving averages flipped. But for now, looks good. Breakouts are still on. I only have one chart on the watch list tomorrow, so setups are still not too plentiful, still kind of rare, but the momentum scans are starting to get some names in them again. They're starting to fill back up. There was over 100 in them today, maybe 120. That's the most that they've had in about a week. But as far as good looking setups, pump is really the only one I like. And this one's not great, but it's not too bad. Made a 100% move in 13 days. It's holding all of that pretty well. Hasn't given any of it back, hardly. The 10-day has caught up and it's starting to show support on the 10-day. You can see here on the hourly chart that it's starting to make a nice flag pattern. The volume is not great. Last 3 days have been higher lows. They've all been below average volume. So this isn't an A+ setup, but I think the good outweighs the bad in this one. So that's the only one I'll be looking to trade tomorrow. Now we'll go over my positions. I'm going to start with the one that I opened today, PRAX. If you watched yesterday's video, then you know this was on the watch list. It didn't really break the trend line until about middle of the trading day. I entered after the high of that candle, and it's up 4%. See, I got my stop at low of the day. I'm looking to take some profits at 193.60. I wish it would have had more volume. That's the only thing that I don't like about it. It closed on its high, but without that volume, and it's right here in this kind of congested area, going up against that gap down that it made. Next is SGHT. I'm up 21% from my original position in this one. I've already trimmed half my profits and moved my stop up to entry. I'm just waiting on this one to close below the 10-day. It's had a really good day today for the second day in a row. You can see here on the hourly charts, this thing has just been chewing up new highs for the last 3 days. New high after new high after new high. It looks really good. This was another one. I told you guys about SGHT somewhere in this area before it broke out. PYXS had that really good day yesterday, so it's understandable that it had a little bit of a down day today to ingest that move a little bit. Yesterday's move was 22% on high volume, so not surprised that it had a down day today, although did not hardly give back any of the gains that it made yesterday, so that looks good too. Okay, if you don't have pump on your watch list, get it on there. You saw a setup that I missed, I'd love to hear about it. Until then, I'll be back tomorrow, just like every day. Night shift at the Trade Factory, so see you then. Alright traders, November 12th, 2025, night shift at the Trade Factory. Same thing every night. First, we'll look at SPY and see if breakouts are working. Then second, I'll show you my watch list so you'll know which stocks are setting up to break out tomorrow. And then third, I'll go over the positions that I'm holding right now. The 10-day is still above the 20-day in SPY. It's getting closer though. The 20-day has been ticking up the past few days, and the 10-day's been ticking down the past few days. And nothing's really happened up here. SPY's been up the last 3 days, but it's not really doing much since it had that big day 2 candles ago. But regardless, as long as the 10-day is above the 20, breakouts are still on. There's only one name on the watch list. It looks familiar if you watched yesterday's Trade Factory. That's PUMP. It tried to break out this morning. It broke the trend line on the first 1 hour candle here, but it never regained opening range highs. But I'm keeping it on the watch list because it still looks good. If you look at these trend lines on the hour chart, it almost looks like I drew these trend lines today, but I drew them yesterday before any of the day's bars had even shown up. So it held support at this bottom trend line today. We'll pull that out a little further. And then it showed resistance at this top trend line over here. So it's not ready yet, but it's still flagging nice. A couple things I don't like is it had above average volume today. It did 4.6 million when it usually does about 3. Also, it closed below the 10-day for the first time in the last few days. It's been kind of surfing that 10-day, and today it closed below it, but it still held that overall flag. So I'm definitely still taking this one if it breaks the trend line tomorrow and then breaks above those highs. But I'd like to see this one go sideways for another day or two. I think if this tries to break out again tomorrow, it's probably going to be the same as it was today. I think it'll have a big first hour and then never recover. All right, and before we go, we'll check in on my positions. SGHT is up 30% from my entry. Had another big day today, up 9%. This thing is up 54% in 4 bars. We put this on the watch list right here on this day, November 3rd. Had a little bit of a sell-off in the afternoon, but it recovered most of it. Still closed near its high. Did even more volume. This is looking really good. PYXS is struggling a little more, but still got 20% profit from the entry on this one. it went 20% on this one day, 22% on big volume. And you can see it's taken a couple days to kind of ingest this move. So hopefully that'll recover, because it's still holding half at least of the gains that it made on this big day. PYXS is another one that I've already trimmed profits on. I got the stop moved up to entry, just waiting for this one to close below the 10-day. PRAX is struggling. I would have loved to see this one at least get to my first profit target today before it flattened out, but it didn't. But it's still holding pretty much all of its gains from breakout day yesterday. Stocks like this honestly are ones where I'm really tempted to move my stop up to my entry after day one, because they just don't really go far the next day. You want stocks that look like SGHT, where you enter on day one and then they just go up from there. So I'm tempted to move this stop up to my entry so at least I don't lose money. Plus, you can see the resistance that it's meeting here today is right here where this previous resistance was before this gap. So it looks like it's struggling at this resistance and had a lot of volume come in the last hour. It did have higher lows all day though. So hopefully this one will at least hit my first profit target tomorrow. All right, another night shift in the trade factory down. If you don't have PUMP on your watch list, you need to get it on there. Keep an eye on it. Hope you guys made money today, and I will see you all tomorrow. Breakout traders, it's November 13th, 2025. Another night shift at the trade factory. It's the same thing every night. First, we look at SPY to see if breakouts are on tomorrow. Then I'll show you my watch list of stocks that are setting up to break out. And then lastly, I'll show you the positions that I'm holding. So breakouts are technically on tomorrow, but I wouldn't jump in too fast. SPY's 10-day moving average is barely above the 20-day moving average, but it's just barely. It's less than $1. And SPY had a big down day today. And on top of that, the market monitor showed over 700 stocks today that were down 4% or more. So that's another mark in the bearish column. So breakouts are technically on, but I wouldn't suggest it. As we move to the watch list, you'll see that another reason I don't want to trade breakouts tomorrow is that I don't have anything on the watch list. Pump is only up here because I wanted to show you guys it was on the watch list yesterday. It was still holding that bottom trend line yesterday, but it lost it today and closed on its low. And so I think this one's broken. So there's nothing on the watch list. The momentum scans only had like 55 or 60 names in them to begin with. And even going through all those charts, nothing is setting up. So this will be a quick one. Just go over my positions. After 2 down days, PYXS had a decent 2.5% day today. So that one's still going up. I've already trimmed half of my position on this one, just waiting on it to close below the 10-day. SGHT, after 4 really good days in a row, it finally cooled off a little bit and had a down day today. This is another one that I've already trimmed half of my position. I'm just waiting for it to close below the 10-day. I'm up 20% in both of those names. PRAX is struggling a little bit. If you saw the video yesterday, you know that I was considering even yesterday that I might need to move my stop up to my entry because this thing seems to be struggling. And I went ahead and did it today. And I thought it was going to get hit there at the end of the day. But we'll see what happens. I'm honestly a little worried that this thing's going to gap down below my stop and that I'll actually lose a little bit of money on this. But we'll see what happens. Take my drawings off here and show you. It had a good breakout day, although it didn't have great volume. It had below average volume. That's probably the only bad thing about the breakout day. But then it was just flat the next day. And not only was it flat, but it was showing resistance here at this gap. And then this morning, it took out yesterday's low in the first 30 minutes. And that's actually when I moved my stop up to entry, was this morning, about 30 minutes into the trading day. So we'll see what happens on that one. So before I go, yes, SPY is still technically green because the 10-day moving average is just a smidgen above the 20-day, but I expect that to turn red tomorrow. And on top of that, I don't have anything in my watch list to take, even if I was taking breakouts. So do not advise taking any breakouts tomorrow. But maybe I missed something. You guys let me know if you got anything good on your watch list, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, traders, October 14th, 2025, another trading day in the books. Hope you guys made some money today. It was probably on the short side if you did. It's another night shift at the Trade Factory. Same thing every night. First, we look at SPY to see if breakouts are on tomorrow. Then I'll show you my watch list of stocks that are setting up, and then I'll go over my positions. You can see by looking at SPY on the screen that this is going to be a quick video today because breakouts are obviously off. The 10 officially crossed below the 20 moving average in SPY today, and so we're not taking breakouts. If we look at the market monitor real quick, it didn't put up any crazy numbers as far as 4% up or down. It was a medium day, but it did, I think yesterday was down like 4%. So today wasn't a surprise. So breakouts are off tomorrow. I do not advise taking breakouts right now. But even when breakouts are off, you still want to go through your scans and see if you got anything setting up so that you don't get rusty when the market comes back around. And I do have one not on my watch list to trade so much as just one that I wanted to show you and talk about, MTC. I remember thinking about putting this one on the watch list yesterday, but I didn't because this was such a big move. 645% in 2 days just made me a little wary, but this one, especially here on the hourly chart, is flagging pretty well. It's had lower than average volume 3 days in a row, and it's consolidating pretty nicely with the 10 and 20-day moving average starting to catch up to it. So if breakouts were on, this would definitely be one that I'm looking at, but they're not. One interesting thing from today, though, was there was a lot of names in the momentum scans. For the last couple weeks, there's only been about 50 or 60 names for me to cycle through, but today it was back up over 100. So that's that. We'll look at my positions real quick before we leave. PYXS, I actually was able to take some profits out today. It had a really strong morning, as the market did. Most of the indexes pretty much did this exact same thing. PYXS didn't gap down, but if you look at SPY on the hourly chart here, SPY just gapped down and then went straight up for the first few hours. That's essentially what everything else did today. So I was able to trim half out of PYXS today and move my stop up to my entry. Now I'm just waiting on this thing to close below the 10-day. I was surprised. If you go back and watch yesterday's video, I can't remember if I said it on video or not, but I was considering going ahead and closing this at the end of the day at market close, just because SPY closed so weak and yesterday looked like we were getting ready to start a downtrend. But I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't do it now. Also, I'm still in PYXS. I've been in this one since Halloween. Up 20% on that. You can see it tapped the 10-day moving average today. Well, not quite. It missed it by a couple cents, but at one point today, it looked like it might close below the 10-day and that I might officially be out of that one, but it recovered just a little bit. Might be closing that position on Monday. SGHT is definitely the strongest one that I've been in so far. I've already trimmed half out of this. I'm just waiting for this one to close below the 10-day again. It had a nice day today. So I actually made a little money on the long side today, even though the market really looks like it flipped bearish from a swing trade perspective. So that's good. That's it for today. Let me know if you see any charts out there that are flagging up nicely. I wouldn't suggest you trade them, but it's always good to hone your skills. And I will see you guys on Monday.